People, Deluded, I'm back again. I'm here with a special guest, someone that I like to watch his career and how it's panning out. Charlie, how you doing, man?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just like we was talking off air, I'm good and my family's good, but I'm dying inside. It's boring, man. I just want to see football start again. Yeah,
And hopefully it will start back soon.
yeah,
Hopefully, the earlier the better.
yeah. You're right. You're right on that. What have you been doing to pass the time during lockdown?
Now I've just been chilling. There's nothing I can really do. Just help my grandparents out with some deliveries. Just a little bit of cooking.
What you been cooking?
Yeah, nothing. Just some cakes. Sometimes some dinners for my mum when she gets back from work. Just a couple of the Charlie specials.
I mean, I knew you was a good midfielder. I didn't know you was equally a good cook, man. So that's nice to know you've got some other skills.
I'm learning.
What do you feel about the lockdown, anyways? Like, I assume you're on loan and you was on loan and in Holland at the time. Was you over there when it kind of started coming into lockdown sort of season?
Yeah, well, I managed to get out just in time. I was injured literally a week before the lockdown, so yeah, it worked out probably ideal for me. But no, it just happened so quick everywhere as well. Holland, they haven't got it as bad as England. I think they're starting back training now. But no, just hopefully we can all get back to normal soon.
Yeah, man, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe your mother actually works for the NHS. So yeah, I'd like to, on behalf of everyone listening, for her and everyone else in the NHS, I'd like to extend our thanks at this time where they're going above and beyond, and they are superheroes. They really are superheroes, man. So yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
nice. Yeah, thank you.
You mentioned injury. What injury have you got?
I got two fractures in my back.
For real?
Two complete fractures. Yeah, so it's a long process, but I got some back brace on now, and yeah, just I can't do no exercises at the minute. Just complete rest and let it heal naturally.
How did you do that?
Just that overload. It was hurting for a couple of weeks during the matches, and I thought something's not right here. And then it just got worse and worse. And then at one point, I just couldn't play on it. And then got a scan, and yeah, the results came back bad.
Wow, is this your first sort of knock?
No, I had a big injury when I was 17. I fractured my ankle. I was out for about a year. So yeah, it's a bit unlucky, but yeah, nothing you can do about it now. Just get on with it.
How do you feel about the season so far for Telstar? Because like I said, you've gone on loan to Holland. You've played your first year of sustained senior football. How do you feel it's gone for you as an individual and from a collective point of view?
Yeah, no, I thought we'd done well. At the start of the season, they weren't expected to do so well. So considering we was around the playoffs, it was a good achievement. And I fancied our chances in the playoffs if we would have got there. Obviously, if the season would have finished. But no, I had a good loan spell. Definitely worthwhile, and I loved just playing every week and trying to impress Norwich, my club now.
What do you feel? What took you aback when you went on loan? Like, what's the first? Obviously, when you played your first game, what shocked you in relation to senior football? What took you aback? Was it the pace? Was it the technical level? What was it?
Well, I find it was different to England because I feel like it's more technical in Holland. It's not as aggressive, but I feel like it suits my style because I like to get the ball down and play football. And obviously, growing up at Arsenal, you always have the ball all the time, and the Dutch teams, they always teach you to play with freedom, just be confident and play football like possession based.
And what's it been
was
like
good
off
for me.
Sorry, what's it been like off the field for you?
No, I loved it. It's a nice place. I lived about 15 minutes from Amsterdam. So I was in Amsterdam a lot, just going for food, and it was nice for when my family come over because it's a different scenery, and it just makes it more special when you spend time with them when they have to travel far to visit you. So that was a nice feeling, and I loved every minute.
Sorry, man, I thought you stopped. What sort of
Sorry,
bro. What sort of tactical way do you lot play? Like, is it a 4-4-2? Is it a 4-3-3? Is it similar to how you've played before, or has it been a learning curve for you?
I feel like it changed because we changed different formations, different positions as the season went on. But obviously the manager was the academy manager at Arsenal, Andriy Shevchenko. So he's got a good CV on him. He's been at Ajax, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. So he's been with the best. He's been around the best. So anything that he says, you believe him and have trust in him. And yeah, so we played a 3-5-2. It was different. I've never really played it at Arsenal, but I enjoyed it, and it's just nice to learn different tactics and different formations because you never know what happens in the future.
Uh-huh. In relation to, you mentioned changing tactics and stuff, how has your role been any different in midfield? Like, have you had to be a defensive mid? Have you slightly had to be a more box to box in certain games? How's your role changed during this period?
At the start, when first couple of games I was playing holding midfield for Telstar, and I started playing more advanced after that. I enjoyed it. It was different because I've never really played as attacking as that. But yeah, because we didn't really have the ball as much as other teams, it sort of benefited me because I can get forward and get back. But no, it's just nice to play different positions because you never know in future what position you're going to play, if it's more advanced, more defensive. But I enjoy both, but I'd probably sound better defensively, to be honest.
Uh-huh. What's been the biggest shock for you? Because I mean, I can only imagine playing in front of however many thousand people week in, week out. Just how was that like, and how have you had to adjust to that?
Yeah, no, it was nice. It's obviously when you play it with fans there, it just makes it more special, and like it sort of boosts your confidence, and yeah, it's just a nice feeling all round. And obviously there wasn't as many fans as probably like the English games, but it's just a stepping stone, and it's more advanced than 23. So I enjoyed it, and hopefully I can move on to the next step now.
Uh-huh. Speaking of that, do you feel you're a better player now than you was 12 months ago because of this experience into senior football and playing week in, week out and competing?
Yeah, definitely, because at Arsenal we always used to dominate possession of the ball every game. So we was always favourite going into every game. We had the ball. We didn't really have to defend. But at Telstar, we obviously they're tougher games because they're playing for more sort of level in terms of quality. But no, I feel like it benefited me defensively because I've never defended so much in my life. So yeah, definitely in that aspect, it's helped.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned defense. You mentioned defensively. Do you actually like defending by nature? Obviously, there are some things we like doing more than others. Do you actually like to defend?
Yeah, I feel like it's just part of the game. Just it's what I'm good at. If I'm playing hold in midfield, then my job is to stop attacks, stop the ball from going into the front man, and yeah, that's my job. So it's just hopefully, yeah, it should just come natural to me. But yeah, obviously I like being on the ball more, but it's got to be done defensive work.
Obviously, you mentioned that you're playing senior football, but just by looking at Telstar, it's quite a young squad. I think the average age is around 23. You've got your former colleague, well, your former manager in Yonka. What is it like being a young squad competing against people more senior than you? What is it like exactly?
Yeah, no, as you said, like the squad is so young, so it doesn't really feel like a proper men's team. But when you play against the other teams, then you can tell they're like proper men, about 30-year-olds, and yeah, it's just nice to know that like you're competing yourself with players that have had more experience than you, and to see what level they are, and bearing in mind they've had 7-8 years on you of playing, and hopefully you can start getting past this step of playing in that league and moving on.
What's it been like previously playing with Marcus at Telstar as well? Because I'm pretty sure you had dreams of playing together at some point in your careers and you got to do it.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I never really expected it when he left Arsenal 3 or 4 years ago. But no, it was a nice feeling. He was my best mate at Arsenal. We spent every day together. I used to live with him at Arsenal, and he came over for a couple months, and he stayed with me in Holland. So it was just nice to have someone close to you there, and it happened to be my best mate, so it was very good.
Even better, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you set any targets at the start of this season?
No, I didn't set any targets in terms of like goals or assists or anything. I just thought, I want to perform well for me to get an opportunity to play for Norwich or train with Norwich, just to get in the manager's eye line and hopefully let my ability do the talking.
How much have you paid attention to Norwich? Because obviously you can't help but do it. They're playing in the Premier League. I mean, if they stay in the Premier League, there's that carrot of playing in the Prem. I'm pretty sure you want to play for them regardless of what league they're in. How often have you kept one eye on their progress and one eye on their centre midfielders and what they're doing, sort of thing?
Yeah, no, I look at everything they do every week. And, they play great football. Obviously, they're not doing that great in the league, but I feel like it's a nice club for me to benefit. As like their playing style is attractive to me. They play a lot of young players, which is also a bonus. Yeah, it just sounds like a lovely club all round. And when I went there for a couple of weeks, it didn't disappoint me.
What made you, off the back of that, what made you choose Norwich when you joined them initially?
Like, yeah, just from basically they play a lot of young players. I like the way they play. They put an offer on the table, so yeah, it was them three options really.
Was you always going to head out on loan regardless of what team you joined, or was you open to playing another season in the 23s sort of thing?
Nah, the plan was to literally sign and then go out straight away. Because I played under 23s now for 2 seasons, so it's sort of a step that you don't want to be like staying on that step sort of thing. So you want to keep moving up the ladder and hopefully get as far as you can.
Did you consider a loan spell in England, or was it always a thing you wanted to go abroad and taste something a bit different and take that opportunity?
To be honest, I'd honestly go anywhere just to play football. But I didn't really have many options in England. I don't know what, maybe because I've just played 23s, and they haven't really seen me in first team level before. But I had an opportunity to go to Holland, and I don't regret it, and I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, you sound like it. You definitely sound like it. I mean, I've been paying attention to your progress, and you've definitely done a lot. What games have you sat there while playing for Telstar and took a minute and thought to yourself, yeah, I'm playing really well, sort of thing, or I'm playing really bad, or what games stand out for you the most in your head when you consider this time?
Well, the one that stands out is the home game against Ajax, the first team. We played them in the cup. We got beat 4-3, but it was just a nice feeling to play against players that you've never played against before. Dusan Tadic, Huntelaar, Van der Beek, and just see like what, because the year before that they win the Champions League final, semi-finals. So it's just good to see the level and compare yourself with them, because obviously they've achieved so much so far in their careers. And no, that was a special game.
What would you say has been the best player you've played against so far in your career?
Against, it's a tough one. It's a lot of players. I'll probably say the hardest one was Marcus Edwards.
Oh yeah,
Back in the day, yeah, just when we used to play against Tottenham, with his left foot, just so hard to tackle him. Just so small, and his dribbling is crazy.
What's been your?
I'd probably say him.
Sorry, go on.
No, so I'll probably say him, yeah. But there's so many other players, literally. Chris Willock.
Oh, yeah.
That's too many.
Like,
yeah.
What's the best one you played with?
I'd probably say Chris.
Yeah. You know, I didn't think you'd say Chris, to be fair. Oh. What's happened there? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I played in that friendly match in Qatar. So obviously I played with Ozil, Lacazette, and their special players. So in terms of first team level, definitely them two. And in terms of youth level, Chris Willock.
What coach has been the biggest, what coach has been the biggest reference points on your career, or had the biggest impact on your career?
There's a lot. Um, Recently, I would probably say Freddie Lundberg. Such a nice guy. Still speak to him to this day. He's just so tactically aware of like everything. He's so precise. He just loves football, loves Arsenal. He's always thinking about football, always helping me when I was on the training field. Yeah, no, he is a massive help. And also Kwame Ampadu.
Yeah.
He's at Montreal now with Thierry, his assistant. Still speak to him. He's a lovely man. I've known him for many years now, and he's just such an honest man. I feel like the honest people is the ones that I like.
Mm-hmm. What single aspect of your game do you feel Lundberg helped you improve the most, if there has been, if there was one?
Probably say playing in that holding midfielder role, because I never really used to. I never really like. It wasn't really set for me to play in that holding role, just sitting there. But he just. I learned so much from him playing there, and it just gave me so much confidence in my game. And yeah, just like getting on the ball from deep and not always just following it, because even if you don't follow it, you still get on the ball, which is sort of hard to believe, but yeah, it's true. And yeah, no, I just loved every minute with Freddie, and I'm always grateful for him.
I've never got to ask you this, but obviously you was at Arsenal for a number of years. You've now gone off to Norwich, but you are a professional footballer. It's a tough journey. How difficult is it? You've been at Arsenal from a young age, going up to whatever age you left Arsenal, I believe was 20. How difficult is it seeing, friends released, people on trial and stuff like that? How resilient do you have to be in general?
Yeah, no, it's a crazy journey, because obviously I was there when I was 6 years old, and so I was there for 14 years, and you see so many players come and go. You see players now that you remember. Oh yeah, he used to play with us at under 14s, or as an example, Ebre Eze at
Yeah.
QPR.
Yeah.
He was obviously at Arsenal. Great player. Look how well he's doing now. So just mad. Eddie Nketiah obviously got released from Chelsea, come to Arsenal, and look what he's doing now. So it's mad. Like everyone just has their own pathway and journey, and it's just nice to see what everyone's doing now. And it's lovely to see like your friends in that do so well as well. Like Josh De Silva playing every game at Brentford. And yeah, it's just nice to see and just get experiences from everyone else and put it into your experience and pathway.
Do you use that as motivation? Like you said, you've seen your good friend Josh playing well. You've seen Eddie. I'm pretty sure you've seen Joe as well. Do you use that as motivation to think, yeah, I mean, I've played with these guys previously. I can get my sort of slice of that one day.
Yeah, definitely. Because obviously, it's not like it's not impossible to say, because you've seen them live in the flesh. You've seen Josh. You've seen Joe. You've seen Reece, and you know what they're capable of. But you know what level they're playing at now is one of the top levels, and you just wanna emulate them and just basically follow them, and hopefully you can be there as well, and hopefully I can one day.
How, obviously, you've mentioned resilience. We've mentioned a big part of resilience. How did it feel when you was told that you was leaving Arsenal? Did you know it was coming, or was it a shock? And how did you move forward from that disappointment?
Well, I had about 6 months left on my deal when it was coming to January time, and obviously they don't usually leave it that late to offer a new deal. So I sort of had a little thought in my head that, okay, maybe my time is up, but I'm just gonna nothing I can do about it. Just keep on performing. I was still playing at the time with the 23, so it was just basically me keeping my head switched on and playing as many games at a good level for the 23, so I could get another club interested in me by the end of the season. But I got told toward the end of January that I wasn't going to get an offer. So yeah, so that final 5 or 6 months, I just started looking elsewhere, and hopefully and thankfully Norwich came in.
Was that the only time you've ever been close to leaving Arsenal?
Yeah, that's the only time. I literally loved Arsenal. I still do. Yeah, I was just literally all I've ever known is Arsenal. The experiences that I've had is just crazy. Like just thinking back now, there's so many. There's too many to even to even remember them
Give
all.
us a couple, man.
Um,
Give us a couple.
literally. So obviously, at like 12 or 13, you'd go on tour to Singapore, Qatar,
Mad
like
place.
just crazy, yeah, like mad places that you would never go to. Dubai, like the places that I would never go by myself or with my family, and and then obviously my mum and dad would travel up there as well. So it's just nice to see like they're coming with me as well, to watch my games, and it's just such a nice feeling, and it just creates experiences for us all as a family.
What did it feel like to make your debut at Arsenal when it came? Because I mean, I can only imagine, like as a fan that's never got to do that. So Lord knows how you felt.
Yeah, no, it was special. Obviously the game was freezing, -15 it was. Um, but no, and it was just mad. You can't even describe it. It's just like you just freeze for a minute, even though I was literally freezing as well. But yeah, I couldn't feel my feet when I came on because obviously I was sitting around for a while, and yeah, I was just thankful to get an opportunity, because it felt like all the hard work was
Worth it.
paying off, sort of thing. Yeah, and it was all worth it in the end, for even if it was just 15 minutes in 2 games, and yeah, it was just a nice and special feeling.
I mean, you can be proud of yourself, even if it wasn't for long. Because, like I said, a lot of people like myself, like would give everything to have done that. Did you know you was going to make your debut? Like, I hear sometimes you're kind of told or indirectly there might be a chance, or was you literally oblivious and the gaffer just said, "Warm up, you're coming on."
Yeah, well, I only knew that I was in the squad the day before, so it was a quick turnaround, and we was traveling that day, the day before the game. So we went up there. You get treated amazing. Everything it's literally crazy, like just so surreal. And then we obviously at the game day, I was just warming up. I didn't obviously you hope to get on, but you don't really expect it. And we was 3-0 up at the time, so it was a comfortable game at the time. And yeah, no, I just got called up upon, and yeah, no, I'm just very thankful, and that I got given the opportunity to play for Arsenal.
So you've done proud. You done proud, man. You done your family proud. You done well, man. You done us as Arsenal fans proud. Obviously, to make your debut, you obviously have to be playing well in the 23s or whatever. Someone has to take a chance on you. I assume you trained with the first team on a decent amount, and they signed off on you. How often did you train with the first team, and which players did you think? I know you said Lacazette and Ozil, but was there any players you thought were deceivingly better in training, or were deceivingly better than you thought, sort of thing? And like, what was it like training in general?
Yeah, no, training with them was crazy as well, especially the first time. Like you just see them so up close, and it's just mad because you play with them on FIFA, and like to see them in real life is crazy. But and then it's just nice to see like and compare yourself to them, like obviously in terms of ability, and I feel like it's tough because it's obviously you're going to be nervous when you go over there, so you sort of have to be confident enough to try and play your own game, because obviously there'll be some passes where you pass and you think I would never do that over in 23s, but if it's first team you think, oh man, because of the nerves you start playing passes that you wouldn't usually do. But nine, I loved every second playing, training with them. Towards the end, I started training with them about 2 times a week, so it was special. And that final year was definitely one of my favourite years because I was playing every game and training a lot with them. And I got to know a few people as well there. Hector Bellerin, nice guy, good player. Um, so many Ozil, literally this guy, his abilities is a joke. It's crazy. Um, Lacazette, his close control is just mad. It's just too many. Torreira, always around you. El Neni, aggressive, always around you. Yeah, always around you. He's so hard to get past. Or like every time you receive the ball, he's always on you. Yeah, it's just a few good players, man. A lot of good players, and I enjoyed it. playing with them and comparing myself to them.
That's good. That's decent. Was there any of them that took you under their wing sort of thing? And like, I don't know if there was a midfielder that said, listen, you should try and do this and this, or it'll be easier if you do this.
Yeah, no, there were some nice people there. Earlier on, when I was probably about 18, Per Mertesackers last year, a great guy. Still speak to him now. Obviously, he's the academy manager now, but he was playing. He weren't really playing as much in his last seasons, but we always I used to train with him, and he was such a nice guy. Always talking to me, talking me through when we was playing training matches. He's definitely stands out. Hector Bellerin, just two nice guys. Rob Holden, very nice as well. There's literally so many nice people and down to earth guys.
Yeah, man. Obviously, we've jumped a bit ahead in talking about kind of your end of journey at Arsenal, where you've become a professional footballer. But nobody ever really speaks about the sacrifice your family or everybody has to make. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you grew up in Brighton, right? Or you was born in Brighton?
Yeah,
So it's
born
like,
and raised in Brighton.
I live literally, I'd say by car, 10 minutes away from Hale End. So Brighton to Hale End 3-4 times a week. How does that work? What actually goes into that? How often, like, how? How do you manage fit school around that and able to get to and back?
Yeah, no, it was tough. Obviously, from the age of 6 to 9, you can't officially sign for Arsenal. You have to be 9 years old to sign. So those 3 years, I was just going out once or twice a week from Brighton. It used to take me about 2.5 hours to get there, and 2.5 to get back. So it's a big commitment for me and my family. My mum and dad always used to take me. Yeah, no, it's just mad thinking about like all the sacrifices they've made, because obviously it was tough on them. They had to leave work early. I had to leave school early, so we had to leave at 3 o'clock. My school didn't finish till 4, so I had to leave and sort of miss things. School matches, I didn't really play in many of them because I had training on the days. It's just mad to think back of all the sacrifices you've made, and then to realise that you had the opportunity to play for them. It was special. But as the years got on, so from under 9s all the way up to under 16s, you start training 3-4 times a week and playing the games on the weekends. But at 12, I obviously the travelling was a lot for them 4 or 5 years. So my mum and dad, they didn't have to travel as much because I stayed in digs. So I stayed with another family, and I loved that. It was when I was 12. So obviously until I was 18, 19, I went out and lived in a studio flat, literally just a small one next to someone's house. And yeah, I loved that as well. It was just small, but it was convenient. I could cook my own food, and I just enjoyed my own positive vibes sort of thing. And but yeah, going back to when I first moved out, like obviously it was tough because moving away from your family to go and live in London at 12 was tough. But it's just nice to know that you've sort of got some rewards from all of that. And yeah, I wouldn't go any other way, and I loved every second of it.
Do you feel them early experiences helped or played a part in, when Telstar made initial interest to come in on loan, made you more likely to jump on it, on top of obviously your previous history with the coach, because you've been out of your comfort zone, away from family, and effectively able to like live alone indirectly?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's normal now to me. So like if I'm going away, I feel like it will always be normal. For as long as I'm playing football, I'll always be away from my family. That's the way I see it now, because I've done it since I was 12. So you just get used to it. But my mum and dad, obviously, they still come to my games now, and even if they don't have to drop me, they still come, which is still a nice feeling when you go and see them. But yeah, no, just like I said, I'm just grateful for them and for their sacrifice, and as well as mine.
Decent. Do you feel, obviously, when you was at Arsenal in a number of years, you kind of saw a number of talented players that potentially could have done more if they got more of a chance? I mean, we could sit here all day. You had Marlon, you had yourself, you had Bielik, you had Chris, you had a bunch of players. Do you feel Dan Crowley. Do you feel everybody was given a decent opportunity, or do you feel if they were given more of an opportunity, potentially a couple of them could have broken through? Josh De Silva, your friend as well, forgot to mention. Yeah.
No, I feel like it's just too hard to give everyone the same opportunity. So I feel like you're always going to miss someone, no matter what club it is, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton. You're always going to miss players that have done so well, because I feel like when something negative happens to someone, sometimes that's good. That's fuel for someone inside them, and they go and end up proving someone wrong. Obviously, you see Eddie got released, and then now so it just feels like, yeah, exactly. So it feels like it's just experiences that you've had personally, and then you go and proving people wrong, and going to get to the top by yourself, sort of thing.
Have you had to prove many people wrong in your career so far?
Nah, you're always going to get people that are negative. You're always going to get people that don't rate you as a player, which is fine, because it's a game of opinions, and it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I just want to play to what I'm capable of, and see how far that will take me up the ladder, and hopefully I can play at the top level one day.
Mm-hmm. It's obviously we're jumping ahead, and again, with all due respect to your situation at Norwich and stuff, is a loan spell something you consider again? If Norwich said, first team football won't come at Norwich this season, would you consider heading on loan again? And if that is the case, would you go on loan to another league like Holland or etc., or would you be open to try and staying in England?
To be honest, like I said before, I'll just go anywhere just to play. If I'm given the opportunity to play, and my ability keeps me in the team, whereas I don't want sort of a favour, if you know what I mean, from like an agent or something. I want my ability to be what's the word? Like to be put in, my ability to be put in the team, not a favour, be put in the team, sort of thing.
You're there on ability.
Yeah, exactly. So I just just hopefully I can just play for a team as high as possible, wherever that is, and I'll go anywhere: Holland, Spain, England, just wherever I get the opportunity, to be honest.
That makes sense, man. Finally, I'd like to ask you, obviously, you're still a young footballer with your best years ahead of you, but you've been through a lot. What would you say is the single biggest strength you have as a professional footballer, and what is the biggest thing you need to go on that journey? If someone was just about to sign Scholar, what's the biggest thing you need? Is it something mental? Is it something physical? What would you say it would be?
For me, it's confidence. I feel like confidence is key. It can turn a player's rating into from a 7 to a 9. Like when someone's so confident, they feel unstoppable, and that's the key one for me. I feel like when I've been confident, you just feel like nothing can go wrong. A little simple pass you don't even think about. Whereas if you're low on confidence, you sort of think, oh, shall I do that pass or not? So for me, it's definitely confidence. And when a player is confident, no matter what their ability is, it's always a good sign. Obviously, I see players like Joe Willock, for example. He's so confident, and you can sort of tell in games and training, and you can see like that confidence helps him so much when he plays, because obviously the ability he has is superb as well.
That makes sense, man. That makes sense. And it's an interesting one. You mentioned that about Joe, because I see that as well. But Charlie, it's been fantastic speaking with you, man. I'd love to do this again, obviously, when football is back going and when you're over your injury. Finally, I'd like to ask you again, how long is your injury keeping you out for?
Well, I've been out for about 2 months now. I've just got my back brace on, so I can't do no exercise. And I had a scan the other day. The healing wasn't as fast as was planned, but I've got another month in the brace, and then I get a scan then, and then hopefully we can start moving forward with the rehab process. But at the minute, the healing process is a bit slow, so hopefully it can speed up a little bit.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it's definitely more good luck on that front and more positive news. I'd love to do this again when you're back playing again. Once again, thank you very much for this, man. But Charlie, I don't want to take up any more of your time, man. Take care of yourself.
No problem. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.